A photography exhibit is on display in Torrance. It's called Eyes of Today, and it features the portraits of 9 doctors and nurses, but it also offers a glimpse into the emotional ordeal they've experienced while treating COVID patients. NBC4's Patrick Healy shares their stories with us.
With medical masks covering most of their faces, the eyes are about all we see, but say so much about what all have been through since COVID arrived.
Some of the things that we have seen and that we have done in the COVID units are not things that we talk about amongst ourselves, let alone go home and talk about with our families. These are the stories that we hold inside.
MD Anita Surkar, infectious diseases specialist, among 9 doctors and nurses who obliged a photographer's request to tell their stories through portraits. Eyes of Today inspired by what Mauricio Villalobos saw early in the pandemic when he looked at the other people in a grocery store line.
There was so much that people's faces were telling just by looking at their eyes in a way I never seen them in my life before.
A friend, RN Janelle Hoke, is in the critical care unit of Torrance's Providence Little Company of Mary Hospital.
It was very hard just going to work every single day and feel defeated or feel overcome with these emotions.
The portraits were taken in early May as the initial COVID surge was finally slowing. We asked Nurse Hoke what she sees now in those eyes back then, and she said, hope.
There's definitely a sense of fear, only because we didn't know what to expect. How long would this go on, and how much further would it affect us? How close would it get to home?
Very close. In June, Nurse Hoke came down with COVID, and though back at work, still feels its impact.
To this day, I still have complications from it, and I definitely don't feel the same. I'm definitely not at my baseline. I still, I worry that, I'm never going to be the same again.
And we're celebrating our caregivers.
Eyes of Today unveiled today as a permanent exhibit in the hospital's cafeteria. Still very empty on account of COVID, but someday not far off, it is hoped, to be opened up for more eyes to be able to look through these windows into the soul. And in addition to the portraits, each of the doctors and nurses shared a paragraph of their thoughts from back in May. Now attestations from a time capsule reminding us to be COVID vigilant lest we slip back to where we were, where we don't want to go again. Reporting live, Patrick Healy, NBC4 News.
Patrick.